Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek bonus round for Nintendo's E3 presentation. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Corey Feinsod.
It's me!
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo!
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners, to our listeners and viewers to our E3 extravaganza week. We've given you, this is our third bonus round in 3 days.
This is, I think this is the most recording we've done in.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
This is by far.
My brother was like, "You guys are recording again?" I'm like, "Yep, it's E3 week." But I think it works though for us doing post reactions of these conferences. Sony was our E3 reactions are up on YouTube for that. Please go and watch that. I'm going to say it in the Gamescast as well because I put a lot of time into that edit. So please go and watch our Sony one.
Thank you, Jim.
And I think it's just hilarious, the ending of ours when we get the Spider-Man announcement date, and it's just all of our reactions just so,
you were the chosen one.
Yeah. But this is Nintendo, so we'll talk about that in the Gamescast. The Nintendo conference occurred today at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. So we got to watch that. I watched it live. Corey couldn't, unfortunately, watch it live. I think you had probably a block someplace.
Yeah, this is working, so I couldn't.
I was working, but I was doing tedious web stuff. So I'm like, I can watch a video while I'm doing that. So,
I was actually doing stuff. So it's like, I mean, I work as well at times, but
yeah. Nintendo's focus on this conference was going to be for 2017 games. And I think they focus on that well. I think they focused on that pretty well, actually. It was a 25-minute presentation.
If I remember correctly, they only showed like 2 games.
They showed Yoshi's, which is this year. But we'll get into
Kirby.
the order. And Kirby.
Yeah,
it's Kirby this year. Yeah, we'll get into the order. Kirby was the kickoff, or was that
Well, I was gonna say it was only 2 games they mentioned or showed that were not coming out this year.
Yes. Yeah, so what we did was, what we're watching, we went into their event. We can kind of break this event down because it was a smaller one. So we had Xenoblade Chronicles 2 shown.
We had that nice, sweet montage that teased what was coming, though.
Yep.
Oh, yes. There was a nice, sweet little montage. I missed the montage. I was running back to my desk, so I got to watch it when I got home today. And I had no idea that, these games were coming in the show, which was cool. So I think that I actually really was surprised about a certain game we'll get to a little later that's cross-platform play. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is still slated for this year, this holiday 2017.
I really hope there's a Japanese audio track, because watching that trailer,
same here.
I'm like, I can understand getting the different accents, but when every character has a different accent, you're like, what the hell? Where's the world building? Like, where are these people from? Like, why is every person like a hodgepodge of different places?
I actually wasn't a fan of the trailer that was shown. So what I did was I dug down deeper into the treehouse and I watched this. I didn't watch the full. There's like a 40-minute presentation of this game.
It was long.
I watched about 20 minutes of it, which is, I thought that's a pretty good demo taste. And I gotta say, I do like what they're building, and they even said that this is obviously the unpolished version of this game, so I'm hoping for a little bit more world polish, just definition, little details, little minor things to make it look a little more crisp, because I thought it was a little blurry, but that's also...
Yeah, it definitely looked last gen a little bit, especially after seeing some of the other stuff that's coming out for Switch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's unfair to speculate that this probably started out as a Wii U game.
I mean, it could have. You're right.
And absolutely, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So I hope we get a little bit of an up-res of textures before it launches, which, hopefully is still this year. Until they give a date. I'm not trying to start anything here, but until they give a date, I am skeptical.
I understand, but I think even giving the date, it's still...
I understand
until you have a game in your hand,
I understand.
Until you have a game in your hand.
Listen, and this is what was not translatable in the Slack chat, I don't think. In our Slack chat, Tony and I were arguing about what was announced here, for those who didn't know. But I think it's lost in translation. I understood your point, though, where it's like, it is only 2 months. And I don't have an issue with that as long as the game does come out, but I would have liked a release date, is all I was saying.
No, I understand, and I agree. Like, if it's release date or no release date, obviously, I would prefer the release date.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that they're still in June, saying holiday 2017.
I know.
I'm not saying it's definitely not going to get delayed. Who knows? Everything can happen. But I think it's strong. And I mean, if you just think about it, all right, this is what Nintendo's done so far. So March they had Zelda Snipper Clips on 1-2 Switch. April they had Mario Kart. May they took off, gave it to Street Fighter. June they have ARMS.
Yes.
July they have Splatoon 2. August they have Rayman.
Rabbids.
The Rabbids, the Rabbids game, which looks so cool, and I can't wait to talk about that more.
Yeah.
But
what's in September? Something's in September. Mario's in October.
Somebody had a timeline. I had it on my phone too, and I I closed it, unfortunately. But they put it on GAF. I saw it on GAF. I'll have to bring it up real quick. But yeah, there's a good slotting of one game each month from first party Nintendo. I mean, Rabbids is not first party though, is it?
Kind of. I mean, it's a collaboration. It's mostly Ubi, but it's exclusive to Switch. I mean, there's no way that's coming to anything else.
Yeah.
No, I know it's exclusive, but it's not really like first.
Ubisoft
party.
is developing it, but I mean, I think Ubisoft is publishing it in Europe, and Nintendo's publishing it in America and Japan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mike said he's going to maybe hop on here, so maybe we'll be joined by Mike shortly here.
Okay. September's Pokken.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about Pokken when that was coming out.
Yeah.
So we could talk about that here.
So we have from March until October, almost one release every month, with the exception of
and then Xenoblade's either December or November. So.
Right. That's all I was trying to point out, and I agree. It doesn't come out in text very well, but it's, in my opinion, it's either November or December for Xenoblade. It's just a matter
of
by
what's coming out. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
And
that
Fire
makes
Emblem
sense. And Fire Emblem is November, I think. Fire Emblem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
He knows December. Who knows? One of those. Maybe they don't come out the same month.
Yeah. Fire Emblem Warriors, which I think that's a game which I don't know if I'll buy right away. It's.
I understand.
It's so like it looks so good though, but like I know what it's going to be like gameplay wise, so I know like as you're playing it, am I going to get tired of it? That's what I'm worried about with Fire Emblem Dynasty Warriors, that we'll call it. But
hold on, let's go back to
Xenoblade. Yeah, back to Xenoblade. So
again, as a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, I mean did it make my top 5? I think it made top 5. So maybe it was right outside.
I think it was just out of it.
You were more of a fan of Chronicles than X,
definitely
right?
the top 10. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was amazing.
Good. Good. That's what I want to hear, because that's what they're basing this off of.
Yeah. Intensely amazing. Unfortunately, X, it was still good, but in my opinion, it took the series in a direction I didn't particularly care for.
Okay.
It went more into the exploration. And actually, just as a side note, it's really funny thinking about it more after the Anthem presentation, because I watched it again.
Yeah.
It really feels like Anthem is like part Xenoblade and part Attack on Titan, just in the terms of it's a bunch of humans or whatever against an unknown world, kind of thing. But this looks like a return to form to the first game of Xenoblade, so I'm really happy for that. The main character design, though, he doesn't look cool to me. No, I know that's so superficial, but it bothers me because when I play an RPG, I want my main character to look kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Final Fantasy 7 or 8, but Cloud and Squall look cool.
Yeah.
Just thinking, Tales of Vesperia.
Chrono looks awesome.
Yeah, Chrono looks awesome. This guy just looks...
main characters, they gotta look badass. He looks like... Well, it depends, because like Ni no Kuni, that guy does not look badass, but fine
that's a bit different,
protagonist.
I don't know if
but
I
for this game, you want a badass looking character but this kid, he looks like a kid. And he looks kind of out of place. And the voice just was so bad.
It doesn't mesh. I was honestly like, what? That's a 30-year-old coming out of like a 15-year-old Japanese anime character's mouth. It doesn't work.
You look even younger than that. But I have no problem with the accents. It's just make everyone talk like that though. Not just one person and everybody else talk like something else.
Yeah.
Well, they did kind of leave that open with I don't think it's a real spoiler, but the different continents to say.
No,
maybe I'm not saying it's the strongest thing, but
I really hope that there's more like it's shown more in the game that these characters belong somewhere else, because it's just like everyone's got a different accent. It just seemed weird.
Yeah. I've watched the combat quite a bit because I was afraid of it being a little basic. It's kind of cool, the customization of it. Here comes Mike joining us. It's kind of cool, the customization of it, but I didn't like the build-up to change weapons. Like, you can't keep that weapon on after you change, right? It resets back to the first. That's what I got from that when I watched the video.
So the 2 weapons that I saw, yo, guys. you're really low, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. I want to turn up a little bit. Well, all right, and he's gone. No, but like they showed they showed 2 weapons during combat with the main character.
Sword girl and the alien with the axe. Yeah,
Pyro or something.
So like
Pyro,
as you're in combat, you build up a gauge and you can change weapons. But like I saw it reset back to her at the end of the combat.
Oh, no. So it depends on where you were. I think that was towards the end of the stream. There's a part where on the right, if you think of the diamond configuration, on the right, there's an icon that goes from level 1 to 3.
Okay.
As far as I understood it, he was waiting for both of the weapons, both the sword and the axe, to level up to 3, and then he changed it into like a combo move. Like, if you just want to just use the sword, you can just use the sword. And if you want to switch to the axe, you just switch to the axe.
You can just leave the axe. Okay, that's what I would... They said you can play it the way you feel more comfortable with which weapon works for you, but I didn't see that in the combat, and that's where I was very confused by.
Yeah, it is a little hard to grasp because the Xenoblade combat is pretty in-depth. Actually, in the original one on the Wii, you could play any character, and I'm pretty sure they said that you can do it in this one as well.
They played different characters in the demo.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But... when you play that game, it's not just like, oh, you're playing a different character, like it's just a skin swap. It's a lot of the characters play very differently. Mm-hmm. Like, I only ever touched 3 of them. I was just like, you know what? This is a little. I can't do this, so I'll just let the AI take control of that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next game they showed was Kirby multiplayer game, which actually looked like Mario 3D World a little bit, right? Yeah.
Had a little 4 swords kind of thing going on there.
I think it was more of a 3D world thing for me. Like, it looked like a multiplayer fun game. Mm-hmm. So, interesting. Oh, that's coming out in 2018.
Yeah. So the interesting part about Hero was that during the montage for it, you could see that it had what I want to call it, health or character join screens for up to 4 players. So I'm assuming it's going to be up to 4 players.
And there were 4 Kirbys, right?
I saw 4.
Yeah, there's 4.
I assume 4.
And 4 characters and stuff like that. So
that's cool. 2018, and then we also got it. At least we got. I think the next announcement that they made from we got Game Freak on the screen on the stream, and I think that has to do with last week's flack they got for.
I'm pretty positive.
So
because
he pops on and just mentions a proper Pokemon RPG is in development for the Switch. No time frame really. It's I would say 2019. But
it's more than a year away.
Yeah, more than a year away. But hey, maybe next winter. Maybe that's
it's next fall.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's fall 2018.
But they had to come on and say that just after that. We thought it was hilarious that they brought him out clearly for the feedback the flack that they got.
Yeah. They're like, hey, by the way, Pokemon coming out September. Oh, and yeah, by the way, the next mainline Pokemon RPG is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. So, make sure you get one of those.
And then we got another announcement surprise that Corey and I both predicted.
Yep.
I wished for it. I don't know.
Yeah, you wished. A lot of people were wishing for it. It was a Federation Force game, wasn't it?
No,
we had.
Well, I mean, it does have a 4 in it. So,
yeah, it does. Metroid Prime 4 was at least a slide was shown for it.
When did you know, Tony? Like when did you?
Right away. As soon as they went to the space, I was like, well, it's either Star Fox or Metroid, and they already did Star Fox the other year. So unless they're reporting Star Fox Zero to Switch.
Mm-hmm. Are you okay with now? I'm not a big Prime player. But are you okay with them sticking in the Prime universe? You think that's enough? Like, would you like to have seen something different?
Well, that's the thing. I love both Metroid universes so much that, today came through for me. Today came through for me in spades. I'm even wearing my Metroid shirt in.
Metroid got some good love today. They really did.
But no, I think it's particularly awesome, and one of the things that we were talking about at I forget. I think on last week's podcast about franchising and stuff, it really sucks when you're one of these bigger first parties or even third party companies. That's right. We were talking about Mass Effect. When you it's literally not a matter of can you make money. Is it wise to make this game to make the most amount of money? And it's just one of the things that unfortunately Metroid doesn't really fall under that category too much for Nintendo because it's a solid seller, but it's never going to hit like the 10, 20, 30 million copies that Pokemon, Mario Kart, Zelda do. It's, 1 to 2 million in that range. So, they're few and far between it. I mean, Metroid Prime 3 came out in, I think, 2007. So,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a decade. And especially when you see shit like Federation Force being announced, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, I'm glad they announced the game. It's just, it's a ways off. So we have our... Tony... There goes Mike again. Tony and I have a little bet going about which comes out first, Beyond Good and Evil or Metroid Prime 4. So I took Beyond Good and Evil in this case, but we'll see. We'll see. That's a way.
Yeah,
that's
it's tough because Metroid Prime 4 they showed a title.
Yeah, they just had a title,
and that was it.
But I know Tony's philosophy is bait and switch trailers. I know it is.
Oh yeah.
I know I know where you are. I know where your head's at. I don't think this time is it.
I even mentioned, this was not the first time they teased Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Didn't the guy come out though?
Well, it was never officially announced.
Yeah, the guy was there.
So, was there a logo at the end of this one?
Yes.
It was?
Yeah, the title.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I mean,
and they're touting their Space Monkey program, where you can go sign up now and help shape the game.
I'm gonna win this one. I got this bet.
I don't know. It's just the fact that that's when I actually got a little eyebrow raise from me when help us shape the game. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? I mean, you're the developer, you're the creator. You should know this, man. What do you want from us?
I do have to say though, that trailer was fantastic. I know this is the Nintendo one, and him coming out and being all teary and stuff was.
I know. We'll get to
all the people at that was pretty.
We'll get to the Gamescast.
I love that they actually brought the developer.
Yes, he was in tears. They were in tears. Mike, did you see any of the Nintendo stuff so far? Did you get to look at it?
I looked at the announcements. I didn't really see any of the real video.
Are you psyched for Metroid Prime 4?
I'm excited. My general takeaway from that and the fact that we're getting this Mario game, although it seems a little bizarre, is a Switch might be worth getting in a year or so.
There you go. I mean, hey, that's good.
By the end of the year, at the end of the year, it's gonna have a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, it's gonna have a very solid.
I'm gonna need Metroid to be out too. You get
or at least the release date.
3-ish games.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
which
Mario, which we know.
Mario looks so good. There was a new Yoshi's game announced, which involved cardboard. That's coming in 2018 as well. I thought that was a 2017 game.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, that's 2018. Okay.
This is the first time we saw that Yoshi game.
There's no such thing as 2017 games.
That is the theme. I had a title for the podcast, for the main podcast later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah. Wait, where am I at? I just closed that down. So
Yoshi.
Yeah, we're at Yoshi.
Yoshi looks fine. I mean, it's fine. It looks like a fun thing. Like I kind of just skipped through that one, just myself. But it's not. I mean, again, that's with Nintendo. They have an audience that they're catering to, like the younger group, and that Kirby game and this game kind of cater to those. It's not really for me, but
no, it's not for me either. But it does.
Yes, but they are giving us stuff that is for us too.
Yeah, that's nice. we talk. We're gonna get. I cannot wait to break that down. Remind me to break that down on the Gamescast for me for like this E3 and how I graded each of these companies, because I'm very close on grading the Sony and Nintendo conferences because they had enough games, both of them, that spoke to me. But I want to talk about that. But Breath of the Wild's DLC was finally was shown, which they've already shown the first one before, but they showed a little more, and they even showed part of the second one a little bit. Mm-hmm. So looks they'll be out both this year. This summer is the first one. And
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
This is the first one.
And
the 30th.
Yeah, 30th.
Yeah, and now it looks like the Champion's Ballad, which is the second DLC, might be playable other characters.
Hold on.
What?
So just want to be very careful about this. So spoiler alert, slight spoiler. No.
Yeah, I actually skipped this entire section.
So I'm just going to mention the details, but yes, it looks like we may be playing different characters.
Okay.
In the second Zelda DLC. That's all.
All right, I didn't spoil anything.
No, I know. I just wanted to make sure we got that out there. Because
you're right.
You and I are the ones who have played it.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it as a spoiler. But yeah, okay. So you could be playing as 4 other characters in the game. So that's
for Zelda, because it showed Zelda and the Champion.
It's possible. We don't even know if that's true yet, but
that's the key art, though.
Yeah. So.
I think.
And there are amiibos that I saw there. So.
Yeah. Possibly. So. And a whole new set of amiibos, yes. And Metroid amiibos were announced today too. Those were cool. The Metroid amiibos, which we'll get to.
We'll get to that. But and then really quick, we skipped over it, but Nintendo barely mentioned it too.
Where?
I think we found out a couple days was Skyrim. on Switch. They're actually publishing it themselves, which is interesting. Mm-hmm.
Skyrim is out like everywhere. Why is
it's on every single system?
Yeah, why is Nintendo publishing that? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're getting their own special version of it, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it probably
with Amiibo support.
Yeah, that might be it.
It was probably a combination of they wanted, they had some Zelda stuff in there. Plus, I think Bethesda probably needed a little bit of a safety net, so to speak, or incentive is probably a better, word for that, to get on the Nintendo platform. This way, Nintendo inherits a lot of the risk for it, and there's an onus on them to promote the game as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think if you just go back to year one, not even year one, like the first 3 months of Wii U, they had a lot of decent third-party ports. They had Arkham City, Assassin's Creed, right, Mass Effect, all that stuff. I mean, it didn't really get promoted. Most of them were, full price, didn't have
an unprecedented relationship with
unprecedented partnership.
Unprecedented partnership. So I think a lot of third parties got burned on that because, they threw some efforts, didn't get the sales, and it's like, all right, well, we just don't release on Nintendo platforms. Yeah. So I think there's a good way of Nintendo and Bethesda winning from that relationship.
The next game was my favorite surprise of the show. Rocket League was announced for the Switch with cross-network play between consoles. No, that doesn't
between
mean,
Xbox.
Yeah,
and...
no, that doesn't mean Mike, but that means me and Corey. And
it doesn't mean anyone who really plays that game a lot.
There's a lot of Xbox players.
There are a lot of Xbox players.
Oh, the whole thing started pretty much when it was free on PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
that's why it's so successful. I feel like the majority of the player base is still on there.
That's the only reason. I think it hit at a great time.
That's a pretty big part of it. Yeah,
no, I understand it's a big part. I'm not saying it's the only thing. It's a great game on its own. There are tons of PS Plus games every month, every year.
And they all suck.
Exactly.
Normal.
So because it's a PS Plus doesn't mean that it's going to be a great game. That's all my.
No, but in comparison, everyone got this free game on the PS Plus, and that's what made it blow up. And it's a shame that player base will not get cross-platform because Sony doesn't give a shit.
You can play with PC players, you just can't play with Xbox and Switch players.
Yeah, it's the ego of Sony is showing its head right there. We know they have an ego. Like we know.
I think I said this when this whole thing cross-platform play came out. I'm like, there's no way it's happening anytime soon because Sony will not do it.
But Nintendo was like, let's do this, and I love that. We've got Minecraft and we've got Rocket League now with Microsoft and Nintendo cross-network play, and I think that's finally because we heard about this years ago and we're clamoring for it, and I cannot believe that it was Microsoft and Nintendo that brought us cross-network play.
Well,
desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yes, Microsoft is clearly in second place, and Nintendo
like Tony said today, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. No, not just that, but Microsoft is in a pretty. Well, it's not that. It is pretty distant, I think, second to.
Oh yeah, it's way distant.
Sony and
like almost double.
They're looking for more distribution partnerships, anyways. We were talking about this earlier on Slack.
Yeah.
They're always looking to. Their games are.
I think
Minecraft
right now, and I don't think
also,
that they're as concerned as they were anymore. Like with Microsoft and with the whole platform that they're, kind of building here. It's not so much about that exclusive.
But also Nintendo
ecosystem.
Nintendo is not necessarily finally, but. Has sort of accepted their role as being like a second system. Like they don't expect you to own it exclusively anymore. So that's why they're probably okay with this.
So the big question here I have.
I don't know if that's it. I think it's.
I don't think it's that either. I think
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with. Like, I think that they know that a lot of people have two systems, but I don't think that's the reasoning for this.
I think it's part of it. Like Sony thinks, we have a lot of people who have exclusively have PlayStation 4. I don't think Nintendo is thinking the same way like that because they're not competing directly with those two because they expect, if someone wants to play both types of games, they're going to have both Nintendo system for Nintendo games and, a PlayStation 4 or Xbox for the more traditional games. Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that's not true, but really quick, the other thing, I mean, from Nintendo's perspective, they want as many games on the Switch as possible because obviously the more games that they sell, the more money they're making. But if you are trying to get these games on your Switch, which has the lowest install base as of right now, what's the incentive for somebody to go out and get Minecraft? What's the incentive for somebody to get Rocket League if all your other friends are playing it on other platforms? But if they're like, removing the barrier and saying, hey, you can get this on your Switch and play with your friends on Xbox or PC. I mean, that's just a win-win-win situation for everybody. It's a win for Nintendo because it lets them keep an advantage because now you can still keep it portable, but you can play with your friends. So, I mean, it's rosy right now, but I can foresee them shutting it down in the future. If it goes badly. We'll see.
Now, as far as Rocket League goes, let's get just back to that game specifically. Is there offline play?
Oh, I would hope so.
I would assume.
What do you mean? What, you think the game would come out and not have any offline play?
I'm just asking. I don't know. Like,
doesn't
the game normally does?
It's the game.
Yeah, right?
It's the game.
I'm just asking. Just throwing it out there because I didn't know. Like, can you play with bots and stuff? I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even based like Rocket League.
I do that all the time with my brother. Actually, we play locally. We do go through a season against bots because he doesn't like playing online. So yeah, there's a bit there for that.
Plus, they said local multiplayer, with Switch LAN party basically, which is I think is pretty
right. Probably be the best way to play too. I mean, it could be like the next Mario Kart type of like let's get together and play Rocket League instead of.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is I do like Rocket League, but usually if we're getting on, because I know Mike, if you commented before, it's like it's hard for us to all sit down and be like, yeah, let's play some Rocket League, because for a while it was Overwatch, and then we kind of spread back into single player games. But if we're all in one place, and it's like, oh, just play some Rocket League on our Switches.
Yeah. We also had now this game was announced the day before. Yes, day before at Ubisoft's Mario Cross Rabbids, right? It's Cross?
Plus Rabbids.
Plus Rabbids? Cross. I didn't know it was Cross or Plus. Plus Rabbids. Yeah.
Kingdom Battle.
So that game was shown. It leaked a while back.
It leaked so.
We had no idea what it really was, and then to find out that the thing is basically an XCOM kind of style game. I think that's pretty awesome. I can play that. I can play that game. It looks good.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
I like that they were like basically, let's make a Mario game, but you cannot make a Mario game. You have to make a game that's got Mario that was never made before. And what they came up with was pretty interesting, and kind of really fits with what the world they built with these rabbits and stuff. So I thought that was a well put together concept, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean it's gorgeous too. Like it just looks good too.
I was super skeptical ever since like the leak happened. I think it was right around when we started getting back then. And
I mean, you just think the worst. I mean that's
it's rabbits, those things like.
It's gonna be a crappy Mario Party game.
Yeah, but it looks interesting. It looks amazing. And it's a genre that Nintendo doesn't really reach into themselves. So. And
just to go back on the Ubi comments just a bit, the passion that everybody had for their projects was evident, and you could see that on the faces of the guys that are making this game.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about Ubisoft. I think in the Games Cast, we'll cover their conference. There's no reason not to. So don't worry about that. Nintendo, though, also had Mario Odyssey at the final showed here finally, and a release date of October 27th, which I was very happy to see because I've always questioned if this was coming out this year. I've questioned that since day one. I'll admit, just because I hadn't. It's the way I do it. It's guaranteed to get the lead. Guaranteed.
It's been beat into you, Jim. That's why. I mean.
I know. I don't blame you, Jim. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's not hard to
Microsoft and Sony overlords have beaten into you.
I'm very happy that I have a chance for another Game of the Year candidate. I'm so excited to play a Mario game. I really want to play a Mario game like this, a 3D World Mario, 3D World Mario.
With some 2D stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, with some 2D stuff that had the old school graphics. I really thought that was pretty cool. I think that's a really cool little mix. The game looks insanely crazy. Very, very, I don't know, I'm trying to think what the best wording is. Ambitious, I guess? Weird and ambitious? Yeah. So very ambitious, I would say. Very ambitious world. And it looked great. And I'm really looking forward to this game. So, that's my I can't wait to play this game in the fall. I mean, October 27th can't get here fast enough. So I'm so happy I pre-ordered it, too. I thought it looked awesome. I mean, did you guys check it out? Go ahead. Tony?
It looks awesome. I think it looks better than the initial reveal at the Switch January Direct.
It just felt more of a Mario game right now.
Right. Yeah. Because all we saw was really like the premise of him being in a city, there being humans, and him being able to throw his hat.
Yeah.
Which, at a first glance, it's kind of a hard sell. But this kind of erased any doubts and worries had. And I really do not mean this to slam Sega or anything, but in the back of my mind, I did have initial reservations with kind of like Sonic 2006, where it's like, Sonic is interacting with human beings. What could possibly go wrong with this? Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's Mario time now to do that. It's his turn. But I think it looks a lot better. It still retains that Mario feel and freshness. And actually, I think just the way you had the hat. I want to talk about the trailer really quick, because we were just so used to, in my head, the dinosaur yesterday at the Monster Hunter at Sony. I was like, Monster Hunter? Okay, maybe they want to talk about Monster Hunter Double X for the Switch. So you see the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and all of a sudden it has the fucking Mario hat on it. I was like, oh, I guess this is Mario then. And,
so Mario can just inhabit whatever he wants with this hat? Is that what we're getting from this?
They didn't say everything, but a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
it seemed like Goombas, almost everything.
Yeah. Goombas, humans,
he became a car.
Bills. Yeah, a car.
He was a lamppost.
He was a lamp, but this game looks crazy.
Yeah, somebody posted an image on Twitter where it's him in the taxi or the car, and it's like, "It's a me, your Uber," and it's like, "Oh my god, I'm outside."
Oh man, yeah.
It looks crazy inventive, and I really love it because the direction, it's kind of new, it's strange, it's out there, but coming off of Breath of the Wild, I feel like this game has the potential to be really, really special in terms of just doing things that we don't expect. So
okay. And you guys want to add more to Mario?
Well, Mike, I'm interested in hearing what Mike has to say.
Mike, did you see it?
I know you're a big fan.
I didn't get a chance to see it just yet.
Okay.
You have to talk about it then.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say, I guess, is I felt like it was a combination of everything that they've learned from all their other games they've been putting out. Like, you saw stuff from Zelda's 2D, 3D, whatever game that was.
Link Between Worlds, yeah.
Right, and you saw stuff like they kind of had stuff from Sunshine in it. It looked like
yeah.
And like their other Mario games, 3D World, and all that stuff from Wii U, and so it looked like they were just putting all these different genres and just putting it all into one game and adding this whole big city aspect and open world aspect. So it's interesting. I don't know if it's. I'm not the biggest Mario fan, so we'll see if it can sway me. But I'm just not as excited for it as I thought I might have been.
Okay.
So
we'll see. The one last bit that came out, not during the presentation, but I think one of the media outlets did an interview with Koizumi, who's I think the producer or game director, and he was really coy about saying something along the lines of, "It's not time to talk about this yet, but there will be some sort of, multiplayer experience with this game." And
he mentioned, right, like in your quote that you posted, he like, there are two controllers and it is easy just to hand one to someone else. So wink wink.
Yeah. So all right.
I hope it's something more substantial than the Mario Galaxy point at the Starbits thing. So I do kind of worry about that.
I mean, as far as ambition goes, this probably is like their most ambitious Mario game.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can inhabit anything. So it looks like so. All right. Overall conference for them. That was the games they showed during this presentation. They have a treehouse going, which we can talk about a little more. We talked about it already with Xenoblade.
Hold on. Metroid, really quick.
Metroid. The Samus remastered, right?
Samus Returns.
Remastered. Yes. That was shown for 3DS.
Hold on. So the way it was introduced was they had the presentation, and then they went to the Nintendo Treehouse Live, which is, if you don't know, they do a direct stream for pretty much the entire duration of E3, doing in-depth looks at these video games. So they started off with Super Mario Odyssey, but then they switched over, and Reggie, he was sitting there with the new 2DS XL in his hands, and he was just talking. And I swear to God, when he was looking at the camera, he's like, "Yeah, I got a surprise for everybody." I could see him like winking and pointing directly at like Geoff Keighley or something like that, because then it turned out to be the Metroid game, which is Samus.
The rivalry continues.
Yeah, the rivalry continues. But I can just see Reggie being so smug with all the interviewers over the past year, where it's like, "Where's Metroid Anniversary? Blah blah blah," which is not unwarranted. I was totally there last year with the "Happy Anniversary, here's fucking Federation Force, you motherfuckers." But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It will be. I hope it comes to Switch. I really do. I want to play this game very badly again. I played it already. I mean, obviously '92. I played this game, so yeah.
It's been long enough.
Yeah,
for you.
I think I can replay it and like forget a lot. I've forgotten a lot of it.
Gotta break the streak.
Yeah. And this just goes to show, because I know in an earlier podcast, probably about 6 months ago, we talked about how Nintendo sent a cease and desist letter to whatever fan was making the fan remake of Metroid 2. And we got into a debate of like, is it ethical? Is it not ethical? Blah, blah, blah. But, this kind of showed, not always, but it's like, hey, we got to protect our rights because, hey, we were making this,
Yeah.
Can't really sell it.
And if you want your Metroid fix, you can get Axiom Verge. It's coming soon to Switch.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. All right. Overall,
just real quick, the one thing we didn't see, Virtual Console.
Yes, no Virtual Console. Corey called it. I was gonna. I think in our games cast we should go over most missed games from E3 or items, I guess, from E3. We can say that for during our games cast here. Just come up with something that you guys realized was missing, because I have a couple games that I realized weren't there and they didn't show up. That I was like, where did they go? But overall, I really enjoyed the Nintendo conference. There wasn't much shown. I would have liked them to have shown more stuff. I mean, we got two longer conferences from the two companies. I did get to see a game that I'm going to play this fall, which I like. I would like to amend my Sony score to a 78. Because they don't deserve the B range.
They don't deserve the B.
No, I don't want to do that. Like really, we saw everything like that. That was everything from last year. We saw it.
Let's talk about the game cast. Let's talk about the game cast.
Yeah,
because I wanted to talk about that too.
Yeah. So I would like to amend that to be a little lower. So my worst conference here was Microsoft. I would say that this was my favorite. I would give it an 83, 84. I'm like a mid B right there.
It's your favorite, huh?
Yeah. I mean, of the big three, I would say absolutely.
I would say it's probably the most surprising. It had the biggest surprises.
I really enjoyed Bethesda's though quite a bit. But
Eesh.
I like Wolfenstein. I'm sorry, I just like Wolfenstein. But I'm going by like games that I want to play. So it's tough. Like not every game that they showed I want to play. Just like Sony did yesterday, Nintendo showed. But I think that Nintendo was the strongest of the three in terms of the content that I'm going to play. That I know that I didn't know was coming. Like Sony gave us 2016's E3 presentation. So for me, while I am going to play a lot of those games, I think Nintendo had the stronger showing because there's a games that I wasn't sure it was even coming this year. So
I'm surprised you're saying this. Is the way you talk in Slack. That's all.
That's what I'm trying to say. You can't understand. Like I was not slamming the presentation. I was saying.
No, you're like.
Wish
we've seen all this before.
Info.
This is all nothing new. We've seen it all.
Because in my
new info.
Because my head is that like that. At that point, I'm thinking about Sony's conference and how much they probably threw the same tape in that they showed from 2016. That's probably what we just watched at 2017. That's basically what they did for us. Nintendo at least came with Mario, which, yes, we knew was coming, but I liked it confirmed for this year, and that's why I was annoyed that we didn't get the absolute confirmation from Xenoblade. That's where my mind was when I'm arguing about it.
I just don't get it.
That's what I'm like. That's where my mind was.
We got to see Mario again. Oh, okay, but we saw God of War again last year. We saw that last. You're just saying this. You were seeing nothing new this whole time, and now it's like this is the best conference.
We only saw Mario in January.
We didn't see this at E3.
No, I understand. I'm just saying.
We didn't see these at E3 last year.
Just the Slack, talk and what you're saying now.
I was trying to say that I was not slamming this conference. I was like, I like the conference. So I would say it's probably the strongest. I mean, I get to know that they are making a Metroid game. Yes, I would have preferred something from it. But at least we got an announcement for it. A proper Pokemon game, which I may or may not have just started being made yesterday. Who knows? But they can throw... I'm serious. Like, it sounded like they just kind of put that together because they got pissed. They got pissed. I'm not saying they can't put it together in a year because it's Pokemon. I mean, you could play these games... Like Corey had said, if they had just re-released Ultra Sun and Moon on the Switch, people would have ate it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm not denying that at all. Yeah. Not denying it at all.
So but overall, I thought that I really enjoyed this conference. This shorter showing of the
spotlight.
games. Yeah, the spotlight. I did like it. I mean, there's Breath of the Wild DLC coming, which they got detailed a little more. I like the second DLC, which I had a feeling I was going to. I like that premise more. So that's pretty cool. and the cross-network play announcement. Thought that was awesome. So I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. So that's why 83. I'm not giving it an A.
Yeah.
But,
no, I would give it I would give it a solid B. They showed off the games that we're getting this year, which out of the big three, the only one that really talked about and are releasing games this year.
Well, Microsoft has
it's a little different because it's a new system.
But it's games that speak to you.
No.
They span a little bit of a genre. We get into that later, but it's
right.
We
But
can have a conversation of that for like 4 hours if we want to.
Sure, we could. But they showed off what is coming out this year. They teased some games for next year and beyond. I would have liked to see an actual trailer for Metroid Prime, but I'm happy them just being like, yeah, we know you wanted this, so here you go. Here's 42 seconds of footage of some pre-rendered bullshit. I would have liked to see Virtual Console. Like, I really was expecting Reggie to be like, Virtual Console launches today, Moto 3 available right now after this, whatever. I was really expecting it, but I'm agreeing with, I think, Corey or you, Jim, where the delay of the service probably set back their Virtual Console stuff. So we'll see. But no, it was solid. Could always show more games. What I did appreciate, actually, was the shorter conference time, like the presentation time.
I just would have liked a little more. You can't sit down and watch 4 hours of a treehouse. You can't do it. So it's like I would have.
Yeah. They're not. I don't think they intend you to tune in for 4 hours.
But they showed stuff that weren't part of that run.
That's,
so I was,
right. But that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's better or not, that again is debatable. But after the past 2 days of really, really long conferences, I was just the Sony one exhausted me. Even though it was only like an hour and whatever, just because of Microsoft and then Ubisoft, I was just ready. I was like, I just need you to wrap this up. Just put a bow on it. Tell me. But yeah, solid B.
Yeah. All right, Corey.
I'd give it a B as well.
Yeah, B.
I think that they did fine.
So the strongest of the three. We'll get into this later. Is Sony for you?
Of those three, yeah.
Okay.
For me.
Of the three, yeah. I mean, we're not talking strongest of the show yet, which we can go over. Mike, from what you saw, what'd you think of this?
I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Rocket League, which is
probably
cool.
the same grade as you guys. The cross-platform stuff is big, but for me, the biggest thing, even though, again, and this might be because I didn't actually watch much of anything, I just read news about it, was that the announcement of a new Metroid, even though we have no idea when it's coming, and a proper Pokemon game on the Switch.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going to get that, my brother is, though.
But
He's going to go crazy.
It's funny because like we all are expecting
up.
these things, but it's happy to get a confirmation. That's really what.
Yeah. So those are big. Those are big. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's happening for either of them,
We'll see.
Those are the big surprises. I think it's more surprising than anything we saw at the other conferences.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think it has a little bit of an edge.
I beg to differ on. Well, you didn't see all the conferences, but I mean, Ubisoft's conference was pretty surprising stuff.
I honestly didn't pay
$4.99. That was surprising.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising stuff too.
I saw most of Sony's and read the news from this, and honestly, I haven't seen too much else at this point.
We'll have to get into the games cast to do all that stuff. So but that's all right, Jim.
All right,
is that
so
everything?
Yeah, it's everything for the Nintendo conference. Thanks for tuning into this bonus round number. Wow, we're on. What are we on? 32. 32. So tune in to our regularly scheduled programming, the Movie Cast, Games Cast. Game Cast is going to be an E3 extravaganza as well. We have a little bit of movie news to talk about this week, but we are going to focus heavily on the Games Cast, just so you all know.
Just that time of year.
Yeah,
sorry.
Just that time of year.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. So tune into that. Let us know what you thought of the E3 podcast at allycangeek.net. You can write us. Follow us on Twitter, allycangeek, like us on Facebook. Tune into the regular stuff. Thanks for listening. Zombear.
Ooh, Zombear.